Hi, this reading is for Cancer. So if you're dealing with a Cancer or if you have Cancer in your chart, this message is for you. My name is Jacqueline. I'm a psychic medium intuitive tarot reader. Please hit that follow button so you may be able to get more messages, as I love doing these fucking things. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we have for Cancer. So Cancer, I actually got a lot of very spiritual energies when I was tapping into the Cancerian energy at this time. Heavily spiritual. I was gonna say it also felt very I'm getting a lot of nightingale energy, blue jay energy, if you want to look into the spiritual meaning of those birds. All right, of those fowl. Anyways, but I feel like I'm also seeing a lot of green. And then tree will be a really good stone for you to work with. I'm also seeing a lot of heart chakra activation. So for some of you, you may have gone through a recent heart chakra activation or an activation that you went through within the last month or so. Okay, it's still recent. However, that is coming out to play in your favor, is what I'm hearing. So some of you, it may have been that like you shut your heart down for some time, or you shut your intuition down for some time, or perhaps you had to take a pause or pull back from your spiritual practices. Maybe you've been called to do that, and it's just to enjoy life, to stay present. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? But let's go ahead and see what we have. We have ask and receive, compassion, holy love, and inner child healing. Yes, Cancer. It is a brilliant time for you, is what I'm being told. I feel like that for you, Cancer, there's some situations that are going to be unfolding over the next 3 to 4 days that might be heavily surprising. Pardon me. For some of you, this has to deal with someone that you used to deal with or that recently exited out of your life this summer. I feel like this individual had to take space for things that they had to take care of themselves. For some of you, this could, if you are an adult and you got children that are like in their preteens or that are adults, perhaps it's your child that's taking space. But I feel like that it was important, obviously, check in on them if they are under eight. I mean, always check in on your children, right? Like they do matter. But Cancer, I feel like that some people, again, a very specific person had to take space for themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that, because during this time, you're being called to take space for you. You're being called to pay attention to what you want. You're also being called to pay attention to how quickly things actually are coming, and like things that you're focusing on. Because some people are like, well, I'm going to, this is a very specific message for someone. There's someone out there, and it's like, well, I'm going to intentionally manifest this, and this is the only thing that's going to come out. And the rest of the time, it's like they're not doing anything for themselves, right? Like they're not doing anything to stay in the end game, stay in the receiving mode, stay in the belief that they already have what they want. So it's like you can go ahead and try and intentionally manifest, but if you're spending 10 times trying to intentionally manifest, and then the rest of the day you're negative Nancy, guess what's going to cancel the other one out, right? The negative energy is going to. So I feel like that's just for someone specific out there. One thing I always say is that when you're trying to intentionally manifest something, you're always manifesting. You are always manifesting. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're always manifesting, right? As long as you're living and breathing, you're constantly manifesting. And so I feel like that for whoever the rest of this message is for. Anyways, everyone all together now. Anyways, what I'm picking up is that for you, it's like being conscious of what you're receiving. Some of you, it's like, let's say you're thinking of Subway. I really want Subway, right? Then all of a sudden your partner comes home. I'd really like some Subway. Do you want me to go out and get us some Subway? You know what I mean? It's situations like that. It's about looking at what does manifest. And if you have been attracting in very negative things, and you're finding it hard to be grateful for something, right? What you want to do is that you want to sit there and say, I'm grateful that my manifestations do come through. I'm grateful that what I think about, I do receive. I'm grateful that I put it out there that I wanted this one small thing and I got it, right? Because spirit loves that shit. Be grateful. You will get what you want. And also being nice to yourself. I feel like that for you, Cancer, may have been a bumpy ride this summer, but that does not mean that your whole life is that way. doesn't mean that you're doing a whole bunch of stuff wrong, right? Because we're always learning. We are children. We are children in spirit's eyes. We are beautiful little magical beings. And spirit sits there and looks at us and is like, they're getting it. They're getting it. We gave them the tools. And now they're getting it. And it's about being patient with yourself, right? Because the spirit is so patient with you. For some of you, you have a lot of loved ones that are nicer to you than you think, or that love you more than you think. And it's about taking the time to acknowledge the beautiful and magical things you have in your life at this current time so that you are able to call in more, right? Not just so that, not with the reasoning to call in more, but so that you're putting yourself in the right energy. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, somebody needs to hear that. Being in the right energy. I also feel like that for some of you, there could have been, I don't know why I'm getting some Chiron energy. Maybe you have Chiron in Cancer. Anyways, I'm getting a lot of Chiron energy, which is the wounded healer. Maybe you want to look up that placement, even if you don't have a Chiron in Cancer. But I feel like that with this inner child healing, I feel like that this is an opportunity not just for you to experience inner child healing, but for some of you, your partner, your spouse, them also experiencing inner child healing, and the two of you going on that journey together. I feel like that for some of you, if this is not a romantic situation, that I'm picking up for, because it's about you doing inner child healing with someone else. This could be a friend, a lover, a family member, okay? But this is about you calling in your spirit guides. Some of you could be calling in Archangel Raphael, whether you mean to do it intentionally or not, okay? But this is about being encapsulated in love, being surrounded by love, focusing on that, all right? Wow. The Empress, I'd say so. You've got some fantastic energies coming in for you, okay? The Empress, the King of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and then the Ace of Swords in reverse. Someone needs to hear this. Stop looking for signs. Stop looking for things. I don't, this is just for someone out there, by the way. So like, if you know that you don't look for signs and you're like, no. Spirit brings me the signs, and that's how I communicate with spirit. That's exactly where you should be. That's exactly the energy that you want to be in. If you're out sitting here like I'm literally seeing a cat looking out the window and just looking at all the birds and stuff, just spirit don't like that shit. Like, you're still gonna get signs, but they're not gonna be as impactful or as important because you're seeking them. Don't seek. You send out the energy. You wait, the universe gives it to you, right? Anyways, moving on. The Empress, King of Wands, Four of Wands, Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords in reverse, Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Things are heating up and things are building up over the next 2 weeks. Something about the 13th. I believe I'm recording this on the 11th, so the 13th is in 2 days. Doesn't mean that who is watching this. I'm just going to be very polite. You create your own superstitions. If all these people have all these superstitions, they're like, but this person said this, but this person said this, but do they live your life? No, they don't, Cancer. Rise up. You live your life. I sit there and we all have our own dialogue with our spirit team. That's one thing I will say. We have our own dialogue with our spirit team. So if you are so focused on getting answers outside of you that you're neglecting your relationship with your higher self as well as your spirit team, that could also be a block. That's for someone out there. But again, you have something beautiful blooming for you. You need to trust in it. You're being called to trust in it, Cancer, okay? Besides that, I also feel like that there's a vacation, an unexpected vacation coming in for you and your partner by the end of the year if you are in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship, this is about attracting in a partner while you are nowhere near home. That's an interesting message. Anyways, that's what I have for you, Cancer. Thank you.